might go 8 gates open. Six-tail should I run?
Oh, let me turn that down. Excuse the awkward silence. I'm just gonna try and fix that quickly. Just called pull up Spotify randomly and test it. Okay, we're not fixing the sound issue at the moment. The sound's here, by the way. It is just the fact that there's no sound in the main menu. Wow, we have some good attendance this weekend. 17, 18. We have a full, nearly a whole plethora of drivers. But yes, hello everybody. Welcome to round C-ban of MvP Season 6. It is Bahrain we take you to. Bahrain International Circuit, of course. This is like really eerie without any music. But yes, hello everybody. Welcome. I am your commentator as per usual. Small little plug. After this, so I'm on a bit of a stint today, and you'll find out why in a moment. After this, we are running our ever so randomly chosen timings of our 5-lap championship. It is, we have some drivers from all sorts of areas, of all sorts of the league racing scene, and we have some professionals apparently in on it. See if any of these drivers, most of the drivers competing are who you see now, but there are a few oddballs in there, of course, because we sort of work closely with a server and run the championships there, although we do give our server the priorities. So that's just sort of how it is. We give them a chance to join. They don't want to join, we fill up. It's usually about half. But yeah, so a lot of these drivers got a lot more driving ahead of them. I've got a lot more commentating ahead of me. The bot has just published that in a few moments until we go lights out, which is true. But we have a short qualifying and a 29-lap sprint out of Bahrain. If you're joining us just now, hello, welcome to the stream. I've got to try and conserve my energy a little bit today. But we'll work with it. A few new names because there's been a little bit of transferring while I've been gone. Also, yes, I am back from a long hiatus. I should probably say about that. I've been caught up with a lot of schoolwork, and I've finally seen a little bit of rest from it. And I have a big maths assignment due on Thursday, but I have a lot of periods free, so I can take a break. Oh, we have a Snoopy Dread fan in the chat. We have an Alpine fan. Well, maybe not an actual Alpine fan, but we have an Alpine fan in the chat. Nice commodity you don't see often. I myself, IRL Alpine fan. But yes, I believe Snoopy is still racing at Alpine. He was last season. Guess we're going to find out in a moment when we load into qualifying. My controller's being a bit weird. Not like inputs, but like buttons. Guess that's a bit better. I think it just needs a little bit of a cleaning out, really. Because always clean out your controllers. You don't know what gut gets in there. Please let me know the audio's poorly mixed. Snoopy, sorry, Alpha Tauri now transferred from Alpine. It is Jens and Martin Alpine now, I remember. Sorry about that. It's been a while since I've commentated this league because of some happenings. We'll get the telemetry and the lap data on for qualifying only. We won't have this in the race, sadly. just looks a lot nicer. And qualifying, well, you want to see all the data and statistics in the race. You don't really need to. So we try and keep the screen, like what's on the screen, down to a minimum. But because we're displaying lap times, the big queue, the leaderboard's a bit bigger on the edges. But yes, welcome everybody. We have Josh Morton out on the track. I have spoken with most of the drivers before the stream, actually. We were all playing a bit of Call of Duty, and some of us practicing for the Affirmation 5-Lapper Championship, which hopefully you guys are very, very... hopefully you guys want to stick around and watch that after our usual MvP coverage. That will be streamed here on this YouTube account as well. So if you do want to watch some 5-lap sprints with like about half these drivers plus another 8 drivers or so, please subscribe. You'll get the notification. We are going to take a small break after this wraps up. So yeah, hopefully you guys will stay around for that. But right now we have the coverage of our qualifying session before our 25. I know 50%. Sorry. Or is it 25? No, it's 50%. 50% of Bahrain race. I was about to say 25%. I was like, they might have gone 25 because they have the championship later, but I doubt they have. But then I was like, it's 26 laps, so it must be larger. We have our first lap E, which I have accidentally skipped off of. Josh, going around the Bahrain International Circuit. It's a pretty, I would say, box standard. It's a few corners. You've got some tricky bits. You've got a few death corners, I would say. A lot of drivers out on track. It's been a while since I've seen 20 drivers on a track. It's going to be a good race when you have full attendance. That's a great sign for us. But yeah, going into turn 10, very tricky corner. Can get caught on the curb and go right off into the sands if you're not very careful. Josh now going to be going into the Sector 2, Sector 3 transition, also known as the death corners. You touch the curb here for too long, it's death. You go too wide, it's death. Track limits also, death. Well, in qualifying, at least in the race, no one really cares. But Josh is going to be taking it to the final corner and down the straight. It's going to be, I assume, about a 129. It's a 129, 1, 2, 1, 7, God, 8. Who is next across the line? Looks to be an Alfa Romeo of Team Red. Team Red organising our 5-lap championship after our usual race coverage. Little shout out to him. Team Red is going for a 130.614. Ollie Judge behind a 129.766. Maggi a 138.05. Behind the Alpine, the Haas of Chris, a 129.638 takes P2. Aston Martin of the missing Alex, a 129.711. It goes P3. It's going to be a Williams across the line next. I can't cut to it in time. Unbeaten sign, a 129.292. David DePay goes pole, 128.650 off the start. Awaki, also known, also known as Seb, P7, a 129.838. Who was that? Cami P03 in the house, a 131.05. Martin, a 129.616. Snoopy, a 129.339. There's a lot more times coming in than I was thinking they would. There's a bump, has had a little bit of a bump, and has ended up off the circuit, sadly there. A few drivers still out on laps, probably failed laps or late out laps. But those are the current scores from those. Jens, I don't know if I talked about Jens. Jens gone a 129.907, P10 currently. That was a Ferrari across the line. Is that AJ? No, AJ's still on an out lap. That was a bump going across the line, and he's invalidated it already on the straight. I am very confused what is happening with the two Ferraris. But AJ is about to go on a fly. Never mind, he's going into the pit lane. Mercedes as well, yet to set our lap time. Going out slightly later than the rest, hopefully to get a clearer track, I would imagine. That would be what my hypothesis is, but whether or not it's worked out, who knows? That was just smidge. I'm putting it P10 on 129.849, excuse me. One of the Mercedes Yonan bred, George, goes on 129.651. Lazy but talented Mark, a 129.256. There's a few cars now dwindling into the pit lane. Martin, I don't know if I've spoken about a 129.6. No, I have talked about Martin with 129.616. P6 as well. All the sixes currently. 666. Jens is going into the pit lane. We have, is that an AJ? No, AJ's coming back out. We have Bump on a lap, probably going to be going into the pit lane, I would imagine, after a failed first lap and another invalidated lap. Those tyres need to be changed if he wants to keep up with the rest of the pack. Yep, exactly as envisioned. We have a few, I think that's a Williams. Smidge will be coming into the pit lane to keep up with current trends. The two McLarens are out on runs currently. Roy and Swampy, very, very mine's gone blank. Very, very interesting to see they haven't put lap times in yet. Most of the harder hitting teams haven't. So is McLaren gonna pull out a Stormer? That's, I think, Alex, not Seb, going a bit slow down the straight on an outlap, but causing some yellow flags, which you don't really like to see. Lazy but talented going to be taking the pit lane. It is now, I think Roy's on a flyer. Swampy is going to be going onto a flyer shortly. We'll ride on board with Roy for a few moments, going through into the tricky part of Sector 2 now. It's very hard to keep the car controlled and restrained within the track limits, especially in qualifying. He has got a car in front, which is either going to have to make a swift move or is going to have to give Roy a slipstream, and Roy's going to take turn 10, go down the straight. Alfa Romeo of Team Red going to pull to the side out the exit of turn 10 to let Roy through. Roy now going into Death Corner Central. Here we go. Is Roy going to die at Death Corner? Hasn't gone wide. Is he going to touch this curb? No, he's nailed it, and he's still in the track limits. And it seemed pretty quick as well. Roy could be on for a decent time here. Going now into the final corners, because it's two corners here, weirdly. Roy's going to take to the straight. It's going to be a 128.997. Nearly up there with David. It's been a while since I've seen Roy on top. I mean, I've been absent for a few races. But Roy, in a good position. Seb looking to improve, does not. Does, but no positional movement there. One of the F-Taris, I think that was Ollie Judge, trying to go for movement, hasn't. Same with one of the Red Bulls. And the other Alpha Tauri, that's it. McLaren or Swampy going to be setting a time? No, was invalid. Going to be going round again. Red Bull missing Alex, disqualified from the session for parking in a dangerous location. One of the Ferraris goes across the line. That was AJ going P2, a 128.871. One of the Hasses now going across the line. No movement from either of those. Snoopy's in a wall. There's the yellow flags everywhere. It would seem right now. Martin's going to be going across the line with a 3-minute lap time. Going to be going around again, I assume. Never mind. Oh. Nope, I don't know what that was. I'm not even going to question it. Chris is going to be coming across the line now. Improves going P5 at 129.184. Williams going to be coming into the pit lane. Nearly missing the wall there. It is, I think. That was Mike, Team Red, going a 129.707. That was Roy pulling in to the pit lane. Seb is going to be coming down the main straight momentarily, though. Putting in a lap time of a 1:29.515, going P9. AlphaTauri of Ollie Judge moving up a few positions, going a 1:29.488. David DePay goes quicker with a 1:28.422, just bringing Roy out the sights a little bit. Lazy but Talented goes on a flyer. Jens, I think that was Jens, not improving. Williams there, not improving. AlphaTauri there, also not improving. If it's going to be Swampy setting the first lap time, no, into the pit lane. Goes Swampy. It is now, I think, AJ's turn to dethrone. Nope, AJ's going to go into the pit lane, I forgot. Josh, though, is going to take the line. It's going to be 13 seconds up on the time. So no improvement in positioning there. It's going to be one of the Alpines SFR Martin. Across the line next, it's going to be going towards, it's looking promising, a 1:29.182. It's P5 for the time being, looking pretty strong. Cami P03 into the pit lane. Is that George? Yes, it is. George does not improve by the looks of it, nor does, I think that was Team Note, that was Mad G does not improve. Team Red next then across the line as Roy, nope, sorry, into the pit lane for both of them as Roy comes out the pit lane. It is Seb's turn to take the pit lane. Yes, it is. And then it's going to be followed by Lazy but Talented, I assume, unless this is going to be a set lap time. It's going to be a set lap time. Is it going to be the quickest of the bunch? It's a 1:28.924, which is going to put him P3 just above Roy. Roy could be in the top 3 slots for this race. Both of the AlphaTauris coming into the pit lane. That's a Williams, though, which is going to go straight through. No improvement from that Williams. It was Smidge. 8 seconds up. Who is this? This is Bump. Still struggling to set a lap time. Swampy's also back out trying to set a lap time. But Bump, I don't think, has even come in. He's on a 5-minute lap time. Those tyres obviously showing some wear. He needs to get a lap in and get a lap in fast. It's an Alpine's turn now to cross the line, I assume, of Martin, going to be taking the pit lane, followed by Lazy but Talon. Nope. George goes P2, a 1:28.636, and someone, I don't think it was missing, no, Smidge, sorry, disqualified for parking in a dangerous location, obviously getting beached. Of course, in this league, there is the rules on beaching. If you are beached, you cannot reset the track. Roy can't improve the lap time just yet. Gonna probably maybe go around again. Lazy but Talented gonna be taking the line now. It's not looking too great, so I assume it was an in-lap. It's gonna be the other McLaren's turn of Swampy to finally set a lap time. Is he gonna be up there with his teammate? That lap got invalidated somehow. I do not know how. And that was AJ finishing an out lap, unless Swampy was on an out lap, but he said he wasn't, so I don't know what was happening there. Here comes Bump on a non-invalid lap time. This could be quite good. First lap time going to be set by Bump this late into a session. 3 minutes to go. I don't know how old those softs are, but they're surely not looking too good, so we'll definitely have to try and get in again. It's only P17 at 1:39.90. Definitely needs some improvement there. Cami P03, we've seen quicker from him in some Grand Prix. Definitely needs to put in a good time. It's a 2:18. We'll be definitely going around again, I think. Has to do a very quick outlap. George is going to risk coming in and back. Ow, AJ! That's not even Death Corner. How did you end up that way through turn 10? I have a little theme here where I don't bully AJ, but AJ just how did he end that way up through turn 10? It is Roy to take the flag, well, not the flag, to take the line. It's no improvement to Roy. Might be the best time he's got in him at the moment. It is Swampy's turn though to take the line. It's not going to be better. It's going to be a 3 minute, 31 minute, sorry, not 3 minute, 1 minute 33 seconds of 1 minute 33 point 323 523 seconds. God, I had a stroke reading that. AJ is going to be taking the line. No, into the pit. With 2 minutes to go. Very risky. Is that? Oh, caught a spinner. I've been on board for so long. I'm so sorry, by the way. I haven't meant to be on onboard cam for this long. Got Cammy there getting a bit of a spin action on. It is Bump's turn to go a little bit faster. Nope, into the pit lane. Has turn. Cammy PO3 into the pit lane. Won't be setting another lap probably. Ollie Judge goes a little bit faster, not enough to gain position on his teammate. It's going to be checkered flag territory very soon. Mad G going to be now approaching the line. It's a 2 minute 11. Got to go out again though. It's the only real option they have now, just to keep going and going and going. Team Red's going to go up a position into P11 or 129.358. There's a Haas of Chris is going to be taking the line. Didn't improve, nor did that Alpine of Martin. Roy goes into the pit lane as Swampy, I think, gains a few position at 129.543. It is a Williams of Unbeaten Sign. He's just going to go around again with 50 seconds to go, thinking he's got a bit more pace in that compound. Josh is on an invalid lap, going to have to go around again. David improves. Said he's improved, but I don't know. If he did or did not improve. Snoopy improves though, going P10 at 129.339. As there's an Alpine of Jens, going to be going on 129.909. No improvement on positioning there. We're very near the checkered flag territory, I am aware. Seb takes the line with 20 seconds to go. Can Mercedes, one of them pulls into the pit lane. The other one has a chance to dethrone David. Mercedes, as I've said, looking pretty strong. But are they going to get the chance to dethrone Red Bull? Not on this lap. But Lazy but Talented has one more lap to do it. Now, the two Alfa Romeos are going to come to the line in sync and take the checkered flag, as will everybody in the pit lane. Mad G and Team Red, I assume, are both going to just take the line to make this quicker. No, they're going to pull into the pit lane to make it slower. We have an Alpine of Martin. Can there be positional improvement? Yes, up into P4, 128.913. Who is this now? Swampy into the pit lane. Chris into the pit lane. We got a lot of cars coming through now. A few of them lapped. But we should definitely keep our eyes on Unbeaten Sign at 128.823. David goes fastest. Josh also improving. Same with Snoopy. Is that an Alpine coming back around of Jens? Jens going to be taking the line. Improvement, but not enough for positional. It's going to be Seb and then Lazy but Talented. All the pressure on Lazy but Talented. Got to make up a lot of positions if Mercedes is to look strong in this race. Or maybe even take pole. Seb's going to pull into the pit lane. Lazy but Talented 2/10 up on the time allegedly. Lazy but Talented takes P2. Starting on the first row alongside David. And Yornan Red not too far behind. Mercedes could be on for a very strong Grand Prix while Red Bull is a bit split up across all the other cars. AJ definitely has some positions to gain if he sees himself battling with David once again. And we have a few newbies in there. Unbeaten Sign taking quite a high, probably the highest position I've seen at least. And who was that? Snoopy as well, taking a pretty high position out here in Bahrain. But it's all to race for in the Grand Prix now. And this then will be your starting order. David will start on pole. Alongside him will be Lazy but Talented for Mercedes. Followed behind them on the second row will be your Nanbred for Mercedes with a pretty strong start. And then Unbeaten Sign for Williams. It's a pretty good start for him. Then followed by, down the rest of the grid, AJ, then Martin, then Snoopy, then Josh, then Roy, then Chris, Team Red, Ollie Judge, Seb, Swampy, Jens, Cammy, Maggie, Bump, Alex, and then Smidge, rounding off the 20 drivers. We're in for an interesting one, I believe. We have a few shocker results. Let's see what the drivers can produce in the racing conditions. It's a silent pit lane as all the cars lined up on their grid spots. We can't see them, but they are there. I always forget if we have a formation lap or not. But I'm just going to assume that we do not. Yeah, I'm just going to assume that we do not have a formation lap, and we are just going to go off the start. God, one of many race starts for me today. If you do tune in later for the 5-lap championship, just one last plug before we go racing around here in Bahrain. I think Bahrain features on that calendar, so something to look out for here. It's 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5 here. And we're green in Bahrain, and why are we on board with a McLaren? As David getting a pretty good start. Unbeaten sign. Gonna put it to David through the first corner. It's quite wide from a lot of people. AJ's round on the first corner, and oh my goodness, what has happened there? Jesus. There's cars on top of cars on top of cars. Roy was chasing down Chris. Cammy making up massive positions. AJ, Snoopy, unbeaten side, and your Nanbread not getting the best of starts. Martin's going to have to do the loop-de-loop on the corner and slot in right between those first lap crashes. And oh my goodness, Jesus, man. That is the funniest thing I've seen in league racing. The cars were just piled up on top of one another. But it does mean, and it does mean for the fact that Lazy but Talented is running first in the Grand Prix, followed by David and then Josh. So Red Bull actually having the best start here. Mercedes have sort of gone to mud off the start. It looked very promising. Bump, what has happened with Bump? I haven't had a full grid of 20 drivers for so long. Scrolling through all these names is very hard. It's definitely, you might hear the triggers. You might hear the triggers quite a lot being pressed. David then definitely having some work to do, and at the back is where it's all ensuing right now between these cars that got caught up in the incident. Unbeaten sign having a really great qualifying, but being screwed over in the race. What has happened here? It's Roy and Chris off the circuit. Roy, a 5-second time penalty for a severe collision with Chris. Have rejoined the circuit. It is all kicking off here. Midfield here, we look at Smidge and Jens. Looking for a move on one another, I would assume. As Jens is getting really close. Most of the field is still really close. So we have 20 cars. Plentiful of overtakes to happen here. But most of them are staying quite reserved after that first lap incident there, first corner incident. I don't know what happened. It did seem like a few cars were taking it very slow. I don't know if you could call that intentional, but it is definitely something maybe to take a little bit of a look into. Alex Smidge is going to go the long way around. Is it going to be kept as Alex takes an inner line? It is kept. Beautiful overtake by Smidge through the S's. Gonna absolutely nail it. Maggie also looking pretty close. Snoopy Team Red there, swapping positions on the final corner. Down the main straight as DRS gets enabled and everything starts to kick off. Lap 3 of the Grand Prix has come pretty quick. Josh and Ollie Judge swapping positions. Maybe Ollie Judge was ahead there for a moment. I didn't quite catch it, but has to back quite heavily out of the overtake. Just because of the nature of the corners, it would seem most likely that has occurred. Bread looking to gain a few positions at the back to make this a not so dreadful race for Mercedes. Unbeaten Sign is going to be making up a few positions actually, but Bob will not be letting that one go. And may I just quickly point out that we are running the Monza liveries for the Ferraris, and it is looking pretty nice. Chris spins in the dreaded Sector 1-2 transfer. It is not fun times going through that corner, let me tell you. We have AJ in the background making up a position there on Jens. Having a little bit of fighting. No, actually, it looked a lot closer from the other camera angle, but AJ sort of ran away with that one. All the cars relatively in DRS range of one another. We've got a pretty good big DRS dynamic here, and I've got so many numbers to be looking at and making sure that there's not a gap suddenly closing. So that I will miss overtakes, and I'm sorry in advance. Red George going down the main straight could do something with DRS. Let's take a quick look, see what can happen. Red going to be pulling up beside Team Red for the... No, DRS isn't open. DRS is now open, though. I don't know what happened there. Team Red's DRS was open way before George's, sorry. Snoopy getting past Jens there. The Alpines reunited once again. And look at that shot of all the cars in a line there, as it starts to get a little bit foggy out in Bahrain, as it usually does when it closes tonight. It's a bit sandy, is what as well, mainly. It's like the sand in the air. Ooh, a smidge. Gonna go for the outside line, technically, for the following turn 10. Isn't gonna get any moves done. It hits the curb. Oh, is that a pile up? No, he's parked it pretty nicely. No cars have hit him just yet, but he is going to have to wait to rejoin on the circuit. Next to teammate Unbeaten Sign. The Alpines are swapping positions. They're having a little bit of fighting happening. Let's watch this as an Alpine fan. Two Alpines having a fight out. It's a great day. The Alpines are fighting, that's how you know. It's a good sign. AJ then going to be, has climbed up a few positions, but still is at loss of positions, going to be needing to climb past both of the Alpha Aston Martins, there we go, I got the right prefix, Aston Martins and Mad G, as Ollie Judge makes a move on Josh for podium positions. Josh is going to get it back, it's going to be a drag race out the corner. It's David with Josh with the better exit. Ollie's going to have to stay behind for now and has lost a bit of time. No overtaking through this sector is my rule. If you want to stay safe, AJ's going to go with a little bit of drag racing with Alex through a different corner. Is AJ going to follow my rule of no overtaking? He's going to try it. Has it worked out? I can't see him. The camera angle was so horrible. I missed the overtake entirely. But yes, AJ does get it to work, which, I mean, fair enough. You can break my rules. It's just my recommendation. It's going to keep it through turn 10 and is going to get DRS off the car in front, as we are kind of in a big DRS trade right now. David's still chasing down Lazy But Talented. We'll give them a short look as they've been running away with it currently as we go on to lap 5 of 29. We're trying to think. So third, 1/6 of the way through the race. Already, wow, it's going pretty quick, as well as those top two definitely are going very quick. At this rate, they'll be lapping the field within about 5 laps. I'm joking, by the way, they probably won't be. If I was to give a more statistical accurate, they might lap a car. They might not even lap a car. If there's another accident, maybe. But I'm just sort of going up and down the grid looking for any overtakes. Cami P03, because of the accident at the start, up 11 positions, running the highest I've seen in a while. Definitely doing the work. Oh, it got very close between AJ missing Alex and Snoopy there. Cammy and Swampy still fighting it. Cammy is going to come out with the drag race out the corner, going to take the wide line, which I think's the racing line. So it should be the quickest way about it. They are going to go side by side through the tricky sector. I can't see him behind the leaderboard, but it is Cammy who is still in front. The Alfa Romeo of Matt G behind now. Snoopy gets past Alex. Alex gets past Snoopy. It's a drag race into turn 10. Who's going to break later? It's going to be the missing Alex, but the Snoopy's still side by side. Martin makes up a position momentarily as Snoopy goes wide off the curb. Sorry, I just inhaled my microphone. Martin is side by side with the AlphaTauri. Going to have the inside line through the corner. Going to make the move stick. No, because he has the inside line for the next corner. It's still side by side. It's Martin slightly in front now. It's going to be the AlphaTauri. Yellow flag at the back for the Williams or Smidge. Spinning at the dreaded corner. And oh my god, here comes the Mercedes breaking the fight up. Your Nanbred literally nearly went past both of them. Said that time for me to get through this. This is not. I need to be at the front. Swampy into the pit lane. Snoopy top 3. Well, Snoopy has some fans apparently. I wasn't aware of this. Snoopy is obviously the fan favorite. I see how it is. AJ making up another position on Awaki, or Awechi, making up a position, and Martin and Jens still scrapping in the Alpine scrap, but we do love to see a good old Alpine scrap. Unbeaten Sign, you might see in the background having a little bit of fight with Team Red, is going to come out the victor of that fight. Little bit of a switchback possibility from Team Red going down into turn 10. No, all shut off there. A little bit of DRS, but everyone gets a little bit of DRS, so it's all fair. Stevens, you got this big DRS train, you got a few cars breaking apart, but this is the best racing I've seen in a hot minute. Other than that one, but I might need to take a replay at that, but that was the funniest start to a race I think I've seen in a hot minute, like ever. Just wow. I think I need to post that one on Reddit, or somewhere on Twitter mainly, probably. I'll post it on Twitter, because there's an account that does it's like no context league racing. I'll see if I can get featured on there. Cammy losing out a position to Mad G. It's a really mixed up top 5. But Cammy loses out to Mad G. Nanbred is going to make up a position on one of the 2 Aston Martins. I've got another one in front to deal with now in the coming laps. AJ also behind Cammy and Mad G, looking for some things to happen there. Snoopy having a little bit of a fight. I'll give the fans what they want to see, but Snoopy does back off through the sector that I advise not to overtake him. AJ has now gotten past Cammy. Cammy kind of fallen down the order a little bit. Got lucky at the start, but luck isn't what's going to win you a race. It's going to be the effort you put in. I don't know. I needed to sound inspirational. No offense to Cammy's driving ability. I was just trying to sound inspirational. Roy promised me a good show. Down 3 positions, but is in that train, and commentator's curse has struck. Roy has gone round and lost an end plate. That's going to be an early pit stop for Roy. Yellow flags in sector 2 and 3, which is that area of the track. AJ. Excuse me? What happened with AJ? Was AJ caught up in that? AJ was quite... Well, Cammy's getting back in another position. Maybe luck does win you races, ladies and gentlemen. Ignore what I said. Commentator's curse wins you races. Lazy but Talented has been overtaken by David at some point and missed me looking at the rest of the grid. There's only so much I can look at, but David is leading. Lazy but Talented being gapped, I would assume. You're gonna need to be getting a schmoove on and maybe do some
Interesting strategy. Roy's going to be going onto the hard compound pretty early, getting a new front wing as well. Chris has gotten the overtake off in the pit lane, so Roy will be plumb last. But speaking of Mercedes in a fight, here's one in a Aston Martin. God, I always forget. Aston Martin sandwich. We have Yananbred, also known as George, currently stuck in the Aston safety car. And why is everyone overtake virtual safety car? Leaders pit. It's enough for the leaders to pit. Josh Morton's going to continue. It's a virtual safety car. That will explain it. But everyone will take time to pit under a virtual safety car. So there is that time loss in the pit lane. So you lose about 29 seconds in the pit lane if you pit under virtual. 5 seconds for Seb for ignoring yellow flags. DRS is back enabled and we're racing once more. But if you pit under VSC, you knock that time down to about 19 seconds. If you pit under about 25-ish seconds. You pit under full safety car, you knock that down to about 19. It is all very interesting, but Maggie, Alex, and Jen's all in the mixer at the back. And we're back to a relatively normal top. Cami P03 running in the top 2. Very interesting. Josh also running quite high. Maybe the leaders pitting under VSC wasn't too smart. But it has brought AJ maybe back into this fight. You have got a nice little 3-car fight happening here. It's a Williams, an Alpine, and a Mercedes getting very close. And of course AlphaTauri in front of Snoopy. The gaps are going to start spreading out a little bit more, which should make things a bit easier to see. It is Yananbred. We'll keep an eye on this little packed up fight. Mercedes back close together on the field. David behind Cami P03. Not losing too much time, but it is lazy but talented who loses out quite a lot more. As David comes into the pits at the start of the virtual safety car, where everyone had to brake and slow down and going down stationary on the track, whereas lazy but talented went when they all started getting back on the throttle. Just shows how timing is under a VSC, as well as a lot of other things. Alfa Romeo running very wide on that corner there in the background. But as long as there's no crashes, I'm happy with it. We're about to hit half distance, which is quite a miracle. It'll be 3-6 through the race. We are currently 2-6 through the race. And this is how it stands currently. Josh in first for Red Bull, then followed by Cami P03 in the Haas. Up 14 positions after a very lucky start. Big accident making him be promoted very high up, and then some recent pit stops by the leaders. David is currently P3, then Seb P4. And Yananbred rounding out the top 5. We'll take a small look at the tyre situation. We didn't check them at the start, but that's because the race starts instantly and I don't have the time to check them at the start. But here we go. Some people starting on the hards. Josh going for an early hard stint. So I think Red Bull splitting their strategies from mediums to hards. One on mediums, one on hards. Cami P03 is going to come into pit. I'm going to lose out on quite a few positions now. But has the longer stint paid off? And we'll find out. But yes, that is your tyre situation. AJ, 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings, and we see an Alpine trying to make a move on Lazy But Talented, or maybe has made it. Lazy But Talented had made a move on that Alpine. I wasn't entirely paying attention, if I am completely honest, but Cami, Swampy, Smidge, and Team Red all come into the pits for their pit stops, like their scheduled pit stops, not because of tire deg or anything, I would assume. Ollie Judge getting close to Bump. Bump running pretty high, having a bad qualifying, but a pretty good race. Maybe it's a Bump thing not to have not the greatest qualifier, but a good talker on the racing track. As he gets passed by Ollie Judge there, as Chris goes fast as 1:32.046, fastest lap time of the Grand Prix. The two Red Bulls have reclaimed their 1-2 dominance. It might not be David who wins today, though. It might be Josh, but we still got a fair bit of race distance ahead of us, so let's not get too ahead of ourselves as Team Red runs right through turn 10, and AJ will gain that position back. AJ is going to have to go on one heck of a stint if there is anything to happen. It is happening to him. It's going to be him going on one hell of a stint. Martin and Snoopy both come into the pits at the same time. Mine's gone blank. Okay, we're back. My mind just sometimes goes very blank, and it's just like, bruh. But they come out right behind the missing Alex. So Snoopy will be fighting the missing Alex, but Martin will be wanting to fight Snoopy, but has lost a bit of time out the exit of the pit lane. And the two Alpines are reunited for Alpine Scrap V2! Let's go! Chris goes faster again, a 1:31.797. Really pushing that compound, it seems, to catch up the field, but is running currently P20. So definitely needing to push. Oh, I'm so sorry, my eyes go. But you are looking at Lazy but Talented. Currently in the mixer with Unbeaten Sign going down into the main straight now. We could see something done here by Unbeaten Sign because Lazy but Talented will have no DRS. But speaking of Lazy but Talented and Mercedes, your Nanbread comes into the pit lane and Unbeaten Sign's going to put it side by side with the Mercedes, get a tyre in, get stuck in, but to no avail. Did get stuck in though, and you got to respect that. Getting a tyre in there. Down the second straight though, it's Unbeaten Sign who gets the DRS again and gets the move done. Wow. Unbeaten Sign is something I have not seen clearly, and someone who I need to see more, unless this is just like a one-track fluke, but I doubt it. And Seb running pretty high up in P3 right now. Highest I've seen him run in a hot minute. Congratulations, Seb. Hopefully that doesn't go all hard for you like I did when I jinxed Roy earlier. Cami P03 looking for a move maybe. Your Nanbread missing Alex, having a little bit of a fight through the tricky sector. Ooh, a little bit of oversteer there from Alex, which is going to let George through. Cami P03, is that? Nope, that is Chris, sorry. Chris going to be experiencing some difficulties as Cami P03 is going to be looking at the behind of Mad G for a possible overtake up into P7. Snoopy Dread then, P11, currently looking to take Alex for the points, who was recently fighting with George. I don't know why is George all of a sudden P13? That's a great question. I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to say Spinella. Yellow flag for Team Red. I've got to be careful on the racing line. Not on the racing line. Sorry, I am not intelligent enough. AJ not having the best of races. Definitely, I can hear AJ screaming. I know AJ that well. Snoopy slides on into the points. Missing Alex puts a nose in there. Very respectable, but does it safely enough to warrant no penalty. Team Red 5-second time penalties for speeding in the pit lane. Martin's going to get missing Alex, and here comes the Mercedes of George, looking for positions as well. It's become a three-way battle, and Snoopy's now just going to go run away with it. As these three are now going to turn it into a battle there. Martin's also going to run away from it, and Jens and AJ are going to start fighting out. Jens putting it to AJ. AJ going to be sort of, I wouldn't say let through, but sort of like guided through methodically in terms of Jens to not get caught out there in an incident which could have happened. But down the straight they all separate a little bit. Chris has retired in the pit lane. That will not be a safety car, but it is sad that we do not finish the race with the amount of cars we started with, which is very sad. But you know, these things happen. You can't win them all. And Chris definitely wasn't having the best of races. So it's all fair. Wasn't going to get points in P20. But yeah, sad to see us not finish with our originally stated starting number. Martin going to be looking for a move on Snoopy maybe just before braking. Now wings open, so is that Mercedes behind. We could see a pounce happen by that Mercedes on the Alpine and the Alfa Romeo, no Alfa Martin, Aston, no Alfa Tauri. God, I suck at those three teams. As we have the heavy cam, that Mercedes gets very close. Has a little bit of, is that understeer? I can't tell. Chris has left the session, sadly, after not having a great Bahrain experience. We will check in with your leader shortly, as Unbeaten Sign looks to be pretty close as well. So we'll check in with him before we reach our leader. But we will just watch these guys go down the semi-ish main, not the main straight, the secondary straight, with a lot of cars lurking behind. Martin's gotten pretty air-free, and Anbred's going to try and put it to the Alfa Tauri. Alfa Tauri doesn't respond, and he might get caught out by missing Alex. But no, AJ's trying to go catch out the missing Alex. I'm going to be taking an inside line, maybe. Ooh, doesn't spin on the curb, but very risky. Doesn't play off too bad. Unbeaten Sign. Taking the straights now. Doing pretty well. Jen's in the pit lane, no, Snoopy in the pit lane, sorry, excuse me. Josh is currently in the lead, as you can see, 8-second gap back to David. David, obviously, not being able to close that too much. Was 9 seconds, about 10, maybe not really 10 laps ago, about 5 or so laps ago. Hasn't really closed down too much. Seb's still running P3 for the time being, but Unbeaten Sign wishes to change that, and if he doesn't, then he will still get a podium on penalties. Unbeaten Sign showing some great promise to Williams so far. AJ gonna be trying to catch George in front. Best of buddies these two are. Not. But definitely something to keep an eye on. See how this progresses. Both very valiant fighters. AJ's going to go for the move around the outside. No, it looked like it. But doesn't wish to take on any chances just yet. We'll stay on board because of how close it is. Sorry, I was just clearing my throat. As you could imagine, commenting does get very bad on your throat after a while. And the fact I'm going from a 50% race to then 8 5-lap races is going to be very painful. AJ going to get the move. Snoopy 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. Has in P18, so has quite a bit of recovery time to make. But yeah, Unabred and AJ really providing the entertainment right now. Maybe not for too much longer if they crash, but hopefully they do not crash. Please do not slow down. You're not going to crash. Oh, never mind. lovely double donut there from Yanan Bread, but maybe you should have slowed down. You're going to crash. But who knows? Josh is going to be coming into the pit lane for presumably soft tires. Medium tires. Oh yeah, Josh started on the hards. David's going to get out in front though, is he not? Yep. David and Seb. And Sign. All come out in front of Josh. Josh has now got to fight these Sign and Seb for a podium. But Lazy but Talented in the background ain't going to let that slide so easy, you know, is he? The Mercedes definitely going to put up a fight with that Red Bull, especially with the rivalry in the constructors. Unbeaten Sign, though, doing astonishingly well on the podium. If it stays that way, I will definitely have to kudos that way. But the fights are dying down. There's a quick update on tyres. Team Red onto softs. We have a little bit of fighting here with Jens. We'll take a quick look at. But we'll go back onto position. We'll give you guys a quick look at penalties. 5 for Seb, 3 for AJ, 5 for Team Red, and 3 for Snoopy. We'll give you your position change. The Jens is going to be chasing down the Aston Martin. We'll keep an eye on the other Aston Martin being chased down by Williams a bit further up the grid as well. In case anything happens there down the straight here, Jens being gapped actually. DRS wing isn't open for some reason. Jens, is your DRS wing broken? Make sure you're using it if you're listening to the stream. You're down a DRS straight, unless it was disabled, I don't know. 9 laps to go. How have I not realised? 9 laps in the Grand Prix left. 2/3 done. We're going to be having an intense finish, maybe? Jens is nearing out of a second, but we'll give it the front-running fight a little bit of new time as well. Unbeaten Sign, absolutely brilliant performance. Like, qualified P4, gets sent all the way to the back on an accident, comes back up to P3. Absolute mad lad. My driver of the day for sure. The game will give it to Seb if it finishes in the current order, or to Mad G, or to Cammy, but Unbeaten Sign, I think, like, could be a great driver, and I just don't know. But it's been a great race, until I learned that he's a professional esports driver or something. But, no, great racing from Unbeaten Sign today. Definitely someone to look out for as a late competitor to AJ and to David, especially after AJ's not so subpar performance. Snoopy's retired in the pit lane, or has he hit the pit wall? Hit the pit wall? No. I saw the sector 1, 2, and 3, and I thought that was a safety car. It's just there was yellow flags in all the sectors. Seb into the pits, yellow flag, sector 3 still here. Ollie Judge 5, second time penalty, speeding in the pit lane. Maybe everyone else thought it was a safety car when they saw yellows 1, 2, and 3. Is that why people came into pit for softs? Maybe. It's so hard to tell because it doesn't say safety car anymore. It just says yellows in 1, 2, and 3. So that's what probably got people out. Missing Alex coming into the pits for the soft compound. Here's a quick update on the tyres. Soft compounds is what is going on the cars at the moment. As Josh makes a move on Unbeaten Sign that I have just missed, sadly, but Josh reclaims and restores the Red Bull 1-2, which we've seen before, and I have a running joke with Josh. Where did we see this? Imola last year. Imola last season, Imola last year. I think he says last year. But Josh, you know what I mean. If you're watching the stream, just be careful on the last lap. Josh can get very trigger happy on the last lap. And he's going pretty fast as well. So just don't crash, Josh. We know what happened in Imola. I like poking fun at the drivers. Yellow flag set to 2. Maggi? No, not Maggi. It was Team Red. See, if I was evil, I would say, speaking of poking fun at, but I will not. I will refrain. AJ not running the best of races, sadly. But definitely has made a pretty good recovery drive and getting some points this weekend. That was definitely needed, especially with a few, the Red Bull one too as well, and only one Ferrari finishing at the points at the minute. It's going to be a Red Bull domination, and same with Mercedes actually. Mercedes only going to have one finishing car in the points, so it's not been the greatest of racing here from those teams, putting up a fight to Red Bull, but Red Bull will definitely appreciate the easy bye. As your Nan, Brad, and Jens are going to be fighting out, bringing Mercedes that one step closer. Nope, never mind. They've gone out within a second. It was like 0.1, and then it went to 1.0. Absolutely lovely. Thank you, Codemasters. It isn't Codemasters' fault, but thank you, Codemasters. AJ and Swampy going to be fighting it out, maybe, in these lap timings. Well, in the laps left. It is lap 23 or 29 currently. Not too much longer to make your name known. Anyone in the chat who isn't racing, because I assume someone's watching and racing. AJ gonna be making a move on Swampy round the outside, but the inside for the next corner. Isn't gonna work out just because the nature of the corners there, but it's gonna be a drag race. AJ wins the drag race round the outside. Is it going to get work? Is he going to get rotated? Yes, AJ gets that position for the time being. Get your votes in for driver of the day, everybody. With 5 laps to go, I usually ask the chat, driver of the day, but I usually don't get answers because they're all racing. But fair enough. Yunnan Red down the inside for that corner. Or maybe it was round the outside, I couldn't tell. But definitely a move maybe through the exit of turn 10 if we can keep the gap to Jens. It's DRS open for your Nan Bread. It's not a move done yet. Maybe down the main straight we can see something. Unbeaten Sign is coming into pit. Same with Team Red. Very unexpected. Onto the softs. Maybe had the time to. Maybe he didn't want the podium, who knows. Same with Team Red onto softs. Unbeaten Sign going onto the softs this late. Was it worth it is my question. I don't think it is. I think I would have just taken the podium. Unless you were losing time, then fair enough. But now you're down in P7. You have a lot of work to do. So, good luck. I mean that in a good way. Good luck. It was a great race for Unbeaten Sign. I just think that strategy call may not have been the best thing. But as you saw on your screens while I was waffling on about that, Red does get on by Jens and AJ. Just flying on by Seb as well. And Seb also now under threat by Swampy. As the gap sort of close in on everyone again in the last few laps. We're on lap 24. How are we still on lap 24? I'm so lost. I said it was lap 5, like last lap. There we go. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Yeah, I am right. 5 laps to go now. Wait, what? I've confused myself. Let's just ignore that. We'll keep an eye on Unbeaten Sign as they make their way back up the field. As I'm going to quickly just cough up my lung. Okay, I might have actually coughed up a lung. Like, literally. But Ollie is going to make a move on Jens. Pretty good move. Is he going to keep it? No, it's going to be a drag race through the front. No, he is going to keep it. Impressive move done there by Ollie. Fantastical. Fantastical, is what I was trying to say. I should give a small PSA announcement. For those who are listening, and maybe not are watching the stream, but do care. Apparently, it is now officially considered is like in terms of like store and stuff. It is now considered Christmas. So if you start hearing Christmas songs, that will be why. And as my note on Christmas songs comes to a close, Unbeaten Signs overtake on Cami PO3 has also come to a close. And all the switchback possibility, no, that was just lag. Unbeaten Sign up back into P5. It's been a pretty good, if we could get back up into P4, I'd be surprised. Maybe even P3, but I doubt it. Unbeaten Sign has some work to do, but definitely can do it. Up 26 or 29, and we'll just check back in with the front runners, and Jesus Christ, they have so much gap to the rest of the field. Wow, it's a commanding lead from David. Absolutely commanding. Lap 27 has begun, and what has happened here? Why is Mad G just all of a sudden up into P4? I'm checking the replay. It was Sign, actually. What happened to Sign? Okay, I don't know what happened there, guys. I'm so sorry. Technical bug. Unbeaten Sign has gone the quickest. He's actually catching up to Magic very quickly.